Today's Toy Spot, we are having a look at the Hasbro Avengers Age of Ultron Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch is a great figure release now from the folks over at Hasbro. You can pair her up with the other Avengers Age of... Oh, no, you can't. Yes, because Hasbro has released only about 2, maybe 3, 4 of these figures. There's Ultron, there was the Scarlet Witch. I only saw Iron Man. Somebody said that there was another figure released as well. But you can't really pair these with the other Avengers Age of Ultron toys because the other ones are super small and don't fit in with this scale. This scale fits perfectly with Marvel Infinite series. However, the articulation and the fact that this is movie-inspired toys, ultimately they sit on their own. It's just perplexing. You could probably fill in the gaps taking, like, you know, Captain America from the, I even want to say, Winter Soldier line. You could take a couple of Iron Mans from Iron Man 2, 3 3/4 inch line. You could have kind of fill in the Avengers line, but I don't know why we only got one or, you know, small handful of these guys released also very late into the game. At any rate, the back of the package, despite that, and again, Spot's going to refrain from ranting this entire video. I don't want to be one of those ranters. The thing is, though, like, they don't want to release 3 3/4 inch figures. They always feel like, well, we're going to invest money into this. Let's invest in something that's smaller, that if we don't sell them, we're not going to be completely out of it. You know, we're not going to completely be financially in the hole. But then other things, like giving us specific cards. This card could have easily been generic. You could have saved cost measures that way and then just given us more figures. The read-up on the back, however, says Scarlet Witch channels enhanced energy into powerful hex spheres to vex her enemies. It's also there in Francais, it's also there in Spanish, and it's also there in something else as well. Includes figure and 2 accessories. You can check out more from going to www.hasbro.com/The Avengers. Spot's going to take a break and get this opened up. When we come back, we're going to better look at the Hasbro Avengers Age of Ultron Scarlet Witch. There's more heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. With the Scarlet Witch out of packaging, she's actually a pretty good-looking figure overall. She does come with 2 accessories. These accessories right here, which can clip into her hands. And one thing I'm going to mention, I won't mention it actually just yet, clips onto her arms like this. These appear to be the same energy constructs as what was released with the Scarlet Witch, the Marvel Legends Scarlet Witch. And funny enough, the area that you clamp onto Scarlet Witch is this small section here, but the larger section, I believe, did clip onto the Marvel Legends version of Scarlet Witch. So it's funny, they did kind of use the same accessory for the same character, and they used the smaller clips. It's almost like they planned it, that the smaller clip was going to be planned for a character, and then the larger clip was going to be for the Marvel Legends. Ultimately, though, too, it could have also been used for another figure, too. I only remember the Scarlet Witch Marvel Legends versions having them. And you can get something that looks like that. It's not bad. One of the big problems with this figure, too, is that she's pre-posed. She at least is pre-posed, that she's not in like a crouching or, you know, squatting position or anything like that. But her hands are horribly, horribly pre-posed. You can't really do anything with them because they are rubbery. As you can see right here, they are rubbery. But like, instead of just having her hands, like, this one isn't so bad. It looks like she has horrible arthritis though. But this one here, I just kind of wish, without overly nitpicking, I just wish she could have actually rotated the hands, or in fact, if both hands were facing down like this and not have the other hand like that. The rest of the figure is pretty good. Like I said, it's overall pretty good. And here's Ultron that we've already had a look at. Ultron is taller. That's good as well, as you can see. Her face is good. Something else that I have to compliment her on. Decent enough face. Nice coloring on her as well. She has what looks to be a ball joint, so they didn't skimp on that. But sadly, all the rest of her articulation relies on swivel points. Swivel point in the arm and swivel point in the leg. And because she is wearing a skirt, Her legs, first of all, don't bend all that well. They bend, they're extremely rubbery. That doesn't help the cause either. But you can't move them very much either. The fact that the skirt is cut and that's how she moves her legs does make her a little more problematic for bending her leg. You can get to about there. And it almost feels like the legs are slowly adjusting themselves back because these are, again, rubbery. Again, I really like the figure. The figure's face is pretty good. It's not perfect, but for a 3 3/4-inch version of Scarlet Witch from the movie, it's decent enough. Again, my biggest... Oh, there's a little paint of splotch of black paint there. My biggest problem, though, again, is there's not a lot of Marvel Legends, universe-inspired figures from Age of Ultron. You're getting these figures, but then you're also getting the smaller figures as well that are, for the most part, if you can get any little bit of articulation out of them, you're lucky. Just kind of wish that Hasbro had invested more into this. Maybe what their problem was that they tanked, I think, on the Guardians of the Galaxy line, and then they wanted to play it safe for the Avengers line. But you know what, guys? I would have gone the route of, the Iron Man 2 figures. And Iron Man 2 figures, call it what it is, and the fact that maybe they were saturated, that, you could potentially go into stores now and still see some Iron Mans kicking around. But say what you will, that line elevated movie-inspired figures. 3 3/4-inch figures, I still have some of those suits around, and very, very cool pieces. Super articulated. I kind of wish that Hasbro had gone that route with the Age of Ultron figures, and not necessarily the safe route. Safe route also means when you're producing things like that, they're going to sit in shelves for a very long time. Another example, not quite the same example, but Man of Steel. Those little Man of Steel Fling It figures, yeah, those are still sitting in shelves. I still see them in Toys R Us. Sometimes playing it safe is what ends up being, what ends up losing the money the most. Maybe produce less figures. Maybe instead of producing, kid figures, these figures, big Titan figures that do absolutely nothing, why don't you just release this line in 3 3/4-inch, super articulated like the Iron Man figures, and that's it. Kids will buy them. Collectors will buy them. Everybody is happy. Oh well. Today's Toy Spot, we were having a look at the Hasbro Marvel, I want to say Marvel Infinite Series, it's not even quite that. We're having a look today at the Avengers Age of Ultron Scarlet Witch. Disappointing. Nice figure, just I kind of wish that they had just put a little more love into this line. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more Toy Spots heading your way. Thanks for watching as you always do. I'll see you next time.